15th of October since the beginning. There's a whole variety of people here from different classes, different races, different sexualities. It's a melting pot. It's a very interesting melting pot. There's a lot of creativity, sometimes challenges, sometimes frictions, but we're learning from this. And some ways it's very simple what's happening here. We're challenging financial structures, but the effects that have is quite complicated. It affects the environment, it affects poverty, it affects the welfare system. It's a multitude of things.
It's not a class struggle, it is not a left or right politics issue. It's an issue of thinking that the world is not working for the majority, for 99%, and that if the 99% actually got together and said, it's not working, we could change it. In this country we live in a democracy. We are allowed to vote, but we don't use our vote in a way that affects change. We use our vote to protect our economic interests.
I've been involved in the Occupy movement since October the 15th. There are some really important messages that I'd like to get across on this film. One of the important things about this movement is that we think for the first time we are dealing with the disease itself rather than the symptoms. I've been an activist since 1982 when I had a gun put to my head in Palestine, so I've been involved in all kinds of different single issue campaigns since the early 80s. But the first time we think that by addressing a corrupt global economic system, we are actually addressing the heart of the disease itself. Okay, all the other things such as war, the arms trade, Palestine, women's rights, rape in Haiti, climate change, misuse of resources, all these things are symptoms of a disease, and the disease itself is a global economic system that should be taken out the back and shot in the head like a sick dog.
I was travelling all over the world teaching the Bible. I came back to my country, found it's run by millionaires who go with prostitutes, smoke heroin and cocaine, and then I found out that they caused the worldwide financial collapse and causing us to pay 78 billion to rescue the banks who were greedy, and then they reward themselves by giving themselves £8 million a year salary like the head of Barclays, and at least £1 million a year bonus. Well, this millionaire cabinets are cutting all the help to the pensioners, the disabled, the old, the children, and the people who fund them fiddling all their billions of taxes.
Hang on a moment, I didn't vote for this. This is not what I want. So the more people who put their foot down, who come and join in with discussions here, who join us on marches, who reach out to their brothers and sisters around the world and say, put your foot down, say enough is enough, the more possibility there is that we can change the way the world is.
The media thinks that we actually closed the cathedral, but I've been part of the church liaison. We were talking to them before they closed the cathedral, and they were saying there was a possibility of closing on health and safety issues. Then they broke off all contact. And basically what happened is they talked to their lawyers, and the lawyers, I think, advised them to shut the cathedral, because then shutting the cathedral looks like we shut the cathedral, we lost the money, and so it's kind of an interesting publicity for the church, and interesting way of smearing the camp. It's probably a bit of a controversial statement, but the truth's the truth.
So the vicinity, the location of this camp is very important. We're not here because of St Paul's Cathedral, we're here because of the London Stock Exchange. This is one of the main hearts in the world for the global financial system. I think it's very important to get across the message that the Occupy movement links up with all these movements globally. For example, we've had several times the Congolese people have come down and spoken brilliantly. They're great speakers. They come down and spoken here at Occupy, and they are talking about, they're a great example, you know, that the war crimes that are happening in Congo, the sort of social crimes, the human rights crimes that are happening in Congo, they are all down to the resources that the Congo holds. And those resources are being abused and controlled by huge foreign corporations. That's the heart and reason of all the unhappiness in the Congo. In most places in Africa, all the civil wars that happen or all the social unrest that happens is because of foreign corporations wanting control of resources. I would like to personally send great solidarity out to the Occupy camps that have started in Africa. The first one that we know of is the Nigeria Occupy camp. One of the reasons it's important to send solidarity is because we are in a country here in England where I am not going to be shot dead for being in this camp. There are many places around the world where human rights laws are not observed, and people who engage in activism are risking their lives and risking their families' lives. So we have huge respect for people who are setting up their Occupy camps or who are running their own campaigns in countries where it's actually dangerous to speak up. But the main message I want to get across to you is that we see this movement as getting to the disease itself for the first time. All the ills, all the problems in the world that campaigns are about can be reduced down to an unfair, unjust, unsustainable economic system that has to change.